10 minutes. What we're going to invite is questions from the audience. We already have some questions here, and I'm going to invite my panelists.
Yes, there does. You can hear.
Yeah.
Yes, there seems to be a problem because doctors, as I said earlier also, don't promote patients to take care of their exercise schedules. And physiotherapy is a must, at least in Parkinson's. We have promoted about 8 groups in Bombay, and this Mahatma Gandhi Hospital in New Bombay has got about 3 or 4 physiotherapy groups. And these do help the patients quite a lot in Parkinson's. I'm sure in other diseases also, physiotherapy or exercise will help. Thank you.
Great. I think the important thing is these are not competitive, these are complementary, and whatever you're using, as long as you let your doctor know that this is what I tried and it helped, I don't think any reasonable doctor should take any offense. I have one question to ask you. You work in a hospital setting. How many doctors will actually refer patients to you saying, you know, this particular patient has this disease, go to the library and find out information?
None. I'm sorry, there are many doctors here, but none. That's what I said, there is need of partnership. And when we talk on infotherapy, it's how you prescribe drugs, you prescribe information. So I get to know what exactly I need to tell. But I will also tell you there are some sparing instances when the doctors did send patients to me. Patients come to me because either they know me, they see the digital library board while passing through the corridors, so they step into it, and then they get information, so they come back again. Then they refer other people, please go there, you can get information. So that's how by word of mouth, I'm serving the patient information requirement. But doctors don't send their patients to us. That's not good, it should be done. But I will have one example, I'll tell you. There was one patient who was literate, who was a scientist himself, suffering from prostate cancer. And his treating physician said, well, you go to the library and she can give you more information. She called me and said, see, look, the patient such and such name, he will come to you, please help him. So I said, okay, and that was my first experience when a doctor referred a patient to me. So I was very happy that, all right, I'm going to do it now officially. And we did that. And what happens is when there is a difference between a literate person and an illiterate person, patient coming to you. A literate person will go back, read, he'll look into the information, he'll come back with specific queries to you. So he'll get back to you for more information. So this cycle with this particular patient happened for 4 or 5 times he came back. At the end, he came back, see, there is a news in newspaper about proton therapy. Is it there? And I want all information about it. Where do I get it? What is its cost? What are the side effects? Now, I didn't know whether I would want to give him this advanced information. Though I had a review on proton therapy, I didn't know whether I should share it with him. I said, see, look, I will search it for you. I'm sure there is something that I can give you, but just give me a time. Can you come back tomorrow? He gave me an email. He said, just email it to me. I went back to the treating physician and I said, can I give him this? Reason is, once he reads this, I have to take care that he's a very literate person, he's a scientist, so he knows everything about these things. And therefore, he is going to go back to the doctor with lot of arguments on this. Will it strain the relations? Is my query, a question which I asked to myself, because that would hurt everybody. The patient would be put on the side track, because it may happen. I don't know whether it will happen or not. Since the patient was referred to me, it shouldn't happen, but that was my worry. And I was told, no, go ahead and give. Rather than he troubling you, let him trouble me. I will understand what to do with it. So that's how it happens. So it does happen. But if patients are referred, the patients will have more confidence with the library, support and information. They can think on it, go back to the officials, participate in decisions. I think that is more important.
I think that's important. Here we're talking about some of the side effects of information therapy, and then sometimes, you know, one of the worries is what happens if the patient knows too much or if the patient gets information which is different. Nrip, you've been setting up websites for doctors and you've been doing this for quite a few years. Has there been any change in the way are doctors happy to share information with patients, or they say, no, we don't need any of these newfangled toys?
Well, frankly, some doctors are happy to share information. Most doctors are not. Most doctors still believe that, you know, sharing information with patients is a two-edged sword. Some doctors actually believe technology is also a two-edged sword. So what happens is that some doctors who I still believe are like, the early adopters, and they're very few, they will be more than willing to share their case studies online, maybe just because they want to share it with other doctors. Some doctors will actually share patient education resources, multimedia content online. But again, these are right now a very small number, although the number has increased a lot in the last 5 years. You can pretty much say that if you had 100 doctors, I'm just giving you a relative number. If you had 100 doctors in 2006 who were willing to share information online, today you'll be probably looking at about 2,000 doctors. So that's a 200% change.
From my own experience, I found that there's very little India-specific information. On AIDS, for instance, I found loads of information, and the foundation itself was of great help. But none of it related to the Indian scenario and the Indian the doctor setup here, the infrastructure here.
I'd like to add something there. See, ma'am, you're absolutely right. This is actually a pain point of the fact that health information is not a good business yet. It's like today, if you are actually looking for health information, you will get a lot of literature from the West. But if you're looking for India-centric information, you'll only get it in those areas where people in India have actually seen a little bit of profitability. If you see areas like pregnancy, if you see areas like IVF, you will find good Indian content. You might even find good Indian content in multiple languages, because those are, the promising areas where there is big money to be made. On the other hand, if you actually look at diseases like, say, tuberculosis, okay, which is not a very profitable disease, although it's a very prevalent disease, you will find that unless you find an NGO who is sponsoring some content, it's very difficult to find good Indian content.
Manish, how many doctors actually buy your games and leave them for their patients to play in the waiting room?
0%.
No, so sometimes I wonder, is it something wrong with doctors, or is it something wrong with the way we're marketing some of these things to doctors? If it really seems that patients are interested in getting the information, and in spite of that, the information's not being provided to them by the doctors, I think that gap just seems to be there, and I'm not really sure why. A couple of questions. Radhika, I think what happened is, unfortunately, you had an extremely traumatic, bad experience in the hospital. But before that, what was your experience? Did you find that, were doctors clamming up because there was a problem? Do you think they were starting to hide things?
They started to hide things. In fact, they were never open right from day one, and they should have put my antenna up. But it didn't, because when you are representing the consumer side, then you're not, I wasn't playing the watchdog. My usual role is that of a media watchdog, and I've covered medical beat for Times of India way back. I covered it for a while. But here I was a patient's representative, and I was most uninformed, ill-equipped to deal with the situation, and it was the first time in my life that I realized that I didn't have any informational recourse. So that made things very difficult, and I didn't find relevant information on internet sites from the doctors that I was dealing with. The doctors had ganged up against us. They didn't want to let the news out that it's septicemia, realizing perhaps that this would put them in a very vulnerable